Yo, see, yeah, how you feeling, my boy?
As always, glad to be on.
Yeah, man, appreciate you coming on again. And don't lie to the fans, man. Don't lie to the fans. You're about to go on a rant because it's Cincinnati Bengals, man. Let's be real. That was about to go crazy right now after this past weekend and what
Yeah,
they put up, man.
dude. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, Derrick Henry fumble again. I'm like, bro, we fumbled. We got the ball back.
Okay.
We fumbled. We got the ball back. We fumbled. Not down a couple plays. Literally play, got the ball, play, kick return, run the ball, fumble again. Every single play. I was like, oh my gosh. Chase, people I respect. So that's a throwaway game. Just that's done.
No, it was a lot of bad luck. I mean, I did think the Vikings were gonna beat y'all. Browning's first outing against that tough defense. It was gonna be tough for him for sure. But there was a lot of bad luck for you guys, man. A lot of good luck for them. It was insane, man. It was insane. But man, we're gonna talk a lot about NFL football this episode. A little bit about NBA basketball concerning an injury. There's other injuries around the league and NFL too. We got some rookie starters that might go in this week. We got some good anticipation of some games, and we're gonna talk about last night's game between the Baltimore Ravens and Detroit Lions. But before we get into that, guys, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share the show with your family, friends, or strangers walking down the street wherever you need it. At the game, if you're going to the tailgate, if you're gonna go watch one of the games, if you're gonna see a Cincinnati Bengals fan crying on the sidewalk over there, please let them know to catch this show because one of their biggest fans is on the show and he's gonna be talking smack about them. And if you
That's
guys are
right.
into if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips to get you winnings from 20 to 50 to $100 a day. There's another a little program that we have in there as well that you can make money on the side as well too. You'll see the link pop up on your screen, or you'll see my socials. Send me a DM to get you going, get a conversation going on how you can get started and start making money with us, man. But without further ado, man, let's talk about last night's game, bro. Baltimore Ravens hosting the Detroit Lions, two heavy hitters in the NFL right now, man. And man, it was a crazy game, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Each quarter, I don't know if you noticed, each quarter, each team scored a touchdown. Crazy. I haven't seen that in a little while. I don't know if you have seen that in a little while, but for both
Out of
teams to
my
be
team.
scoring, not my team. No, no, mine's either. Mine, I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys right now. It's gonna throw me off. But it was dope to see on the box score that quarters 1 through 3, each team put up 7, and then quarter 4, the Lions put up 17. The Ravens only put up 9. The Lions ended up winning that game. The Ravens lost at home. Dude, just to go over the stats, we starts going over the whole game. Jared Goff threw for 202 yards, 1 TD, 0 interceptions on 20 completions and 28 pass attempts. David Montgomery had a day, man. Had a day. Ran the ball 12 times, 151 yards, 2 TDs, and he had a catch for 13 yards. Jamar Gibbs had a day too. 22 times he carried the ball, 67 yards, 2 TDs with 5 catches and 32 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 7 passes for 77 yards and 1 TD. And then we look over to the Ravens side. Lamar Jackson threw for 288 yards, 3 passing TDs, 0 interceptions, 21 completions on 27 pass attempts, and he ran the ball 7 times for 35 yards. Derrick Henry ran the ball 12 times for 50 yards, had a rushing TD, but another fumble 3 weeks in a row. Man, there's a lot of unravel about this game, man. But I just want to get your thoughts. Any takeaways you got from this game? Did you like the game? Did you think that man, this game should have been thrown away, thrown in the dumpster, or were you really excited for it?
No, I was looking forward to the game, and I think it lived up. I think for the most part, most Ravens games tend to, though I hate them. They always seem to put on a great game. Doesn't matter if they're playing someone lame or somebody great. Um, but again, as usual, that I've been saying for years and years, the Ravens just don't get it done. Right? Fourth quarters, they start to crumble. Whether it's has been Derrick Henry lately. I'm not always going to put it on the mark. Got to be fair in terms of fumbling the ball late in games or at any point in the game. But lately has been in crucial points. But that's not really his MO in general. I just think surprisingly, if you were to say, okay, well, who's going to win the run game between these two teams? You would have said the Ravens because of Derrick Henry obviously coming into the game. But as you said, Montgomery and Gibbs, these guys combined for 200 yards. They're killing, they're rolling, they're catching. They're just not to say that they're not capable, but that was more surprising to me to see how dominant the Lions were in comparison to the Ravens in terms of running the ball, obviously protecting the ball as well. Can't give away the ball late. That's just going to cost you the game it has for the Ravens past
Mm.
2 weeks. And on top of the fact, the Ravens, I mean, they damn near put up 200 points this season and had 2 losses, right? So defense on the Ravens is very confusing to me because, they've always been this historically great defensive team. Even if the stats aren't there, they're physical. You don't want to play them. It's just always a headache for them defensively. But they're just allowing people to run the ball and get into lanes and just do whatever they want against them. So don't know what to expect for them. It just was the same story they were last year until like in that final 6-7 weeks where they took off and got hot defensively. Won't be overly concerned with Derrick Henry. I don't think this will be a thing that he always does. I just think he's hyper focused on trying to prevent fumbling and therefore fumbling. But once he gets 1 or 2 games under his belt where he doesn't fumble and they win and they just look fine, it'll go away. But for now, as a Bengals fan, this is a beautiful thing to watch. I love it. Top of the After a pathetic performance we have, we're still at top of the division. So I will take it, even though who cares about division stories in week 4.
Yeah, it's only week 4. It's only week 4. But it's still the start of the season, man. But the Baltimore Ravens defense, man, they're looking bad, bro. Only 3 games in. There's a whole lot of football left. I don't think that they should panic right now. But dude, they're not able to stop the run. They're not able to stop the pass. They're not able to get turnovers. They're not able to help Lamar, Derrick Henry, and that offense stay on the field and scoring and points that they literally are out there like, yo, we got to outscore our opponents. If not, we're not going to win. And just like how you mentioned with Baltimore's defense, they're always historically great. Every single year, they're always good or either great. There's no below average. There's no average. It's always above average and more. And this season, man, with 3 weeks have gone by, it's just been looking horrible, man. And they need to do something about it. Yes, it's still early. There's a lot of football left to be played. There's a lot of tune-ups that they can do. But right now, man, they're showing horrible signs of being on horrible defense. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. And it's tough, man. Like, you're going to be going up against these prolific teams. You got freaking Kansas City next week. Kansas City hasn't been looking so good, but you never know with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. They could turn it up whenever they really feel like it. Whenever they get the momentum to get on fire, they will. And if you're going to go up against a team like that, it's going to be tough for you to stop them if they start getting on a little hot streak. Now, when it comes to the offensive side, Lamar Jackson's been doing his thing, man. I don't think there's anybody that can give him any negative talk right now. He's been doing his thing. Mark Andrews didn't look good through the first 2 weeks, and now he's looking like a Hall of Fame tight end. Six passes caught, 91 yards, 2 TDs. It came out of nowhere. Lamar threw 3 touchdown passes, and Derrick Henry, they try to put it on him for him to run the ball. The Detroit Lions are not really a great run stop defensive team, but they're in the average side. They're in the middle of the pack of the league. But when you got Derrick Henry running the ball and he's only getting 50 yards a TD, he's doing his job. He's doing good work, but then he goes and fumbles for the 3rd week in a row. And I don't think Ravens fans need to panic. I don't think that he's going to be doing this for the rest of the season. I think he's going to work on it, and he's going to find a way to secure the rock. But to me, it looks like he's running out there too loosely, like he hasn't been in the previous years. I don't know what happened this offseason. I don't know what has changed for him, but he needs to keep it high and tight like he's always had and stop leaving it out here for guys to come and punch it, because he's a big dude. Anytime a linebacker, a corner, a safety, anytime they go up to him to try to tackle him, they're going to try to go for their legs immediately, and they're going to try and punch out the ball just because he's a big guy. So they're trying to do something for it. But now, just recently, that he's been fumbling a lot, now defenses are going to be like, yo, go for the arm. Go for the ball. He's going to fumble that. He's going to fumble that. And it's going to be tough for that Ravens offense, man, because if he fumbles the ball and their defense isn't clicking and they can't stop the run or the pass, where are they really going to go?
Yeah, you're right. And like you said, they got the Chiefs And I know I've kind of been a loner on it, but the facts have shown that over the past 3.5 seasons, Super Bowl or not, Chiefs offense is slowly taking a step back every year, every
Yep.
6 months, 6
Hmm.
weeks. They're taking a step back. And again, I know I'm not going to just knock Mahomes and think he's a scrub or anything, but you got Hall of Fame talent with you. You're going to get Hall of Fame results. He had that. Now he doesn't. And it's kind of looking in, right? I know Worthy was supposed to play in that Ravens game, but that was probably a tease. I don't know if he'll play this week either.
Yeah.
Thornton, not some high prolific receiver, but has some big play moments. Um, was able to, you know, negate a near catch miss the other day and then follow up for the very next play with a touchdown catch. So I like him. I think that game could be interesting. Lamar 1-3 against Mahomes overall, only one win, and that was a regular season game. So, like I said, this can very quickly be a 1-3 Ravens team. Like you don't want to wait forever.
Nah, nah, and especially you don't want to start off the season like that, man. You got the AFC is stacked, bro.
Why not?
Yeah, like
I know about
you know for
starting
sure.
out.
But dude, like Kansas City, obviously, they're gonna be the forefront because the last 4 or 5 years they have been, but they started the season off bad. It looks like their offense isn't what it is for sure. Their defense isn't what it is last year for sure. And they might have taken 2, 3 steps back, but you still got other teams in the conference that are ready to take the leap and take the throne over the Kansas City Chiefs. And Baltimore is one of those teams. But if you got these other teams creeping up and you're not doing your job, you're not doing what you really need to do to stop these other teams, they're going to come and they're going to leap in front of you and they're going to get to the Super Bowl before you do. And one of the teams right now that comes to mind, the Buffalo Bills. Like,
Yeah,
you
for sure.
guys,
The
they got
Bills.
to get their defense down pat. They got to get their defense down pat.
Yeah, and that's the team that's what they've already struggled with. Now you got to add in the Colts, who look good. Then you got to
Yep.
add in, the Chargers, who are looking better. You
Hmm.
can't wait in the NFL. Miss your window, you're out. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
At least get them
Well,
out.
we'll see. We'll see. Week 4, different story. The whole lot of football to be played, but there's a whole lot of football to be played and some injuries that will come about, man. And right now we got a few injuries going around the league, and the number one that the first one that happened over the weekend was the one of Mike Evans, man, getting injured a left hamstring, so he's gonna be out 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury that it lingers all season long. You don't really have breaks. It'll be good if they could hit their bye week and he could have an extra week, to really rest, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's gonna be back before that. But with hamstring injuries, man, it's very tricky. You gotta really tame to them. You gotta really be on top of that. But with Mike Evans being out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how is that gonna look for Baker Mayfield in the offense?
That's a huge loss. I mean, Emeka's looked great as a rookie, and I love what he's got going on. But he kind of, reminds me of one of those receivers that when you have other guys as the main target, you can kind of be underneath and get open and get, last second plays, break your routes, do all kinds of stuff. But we'll see what he does now that Mike Evans will miss time. Obviously, they're going against the Eagles. We know how the Eagles are, just came off Super Bowl. But Tampa did kind of has, not going to say has their number, but they've played very well against Philadelphia over the past, 3, 4, 5 years in terms of eliminating them twice from the playoffs, just kind of looking pretty good, even defensively against the Eagles. And I know the Eagles offense has kind of been lately. So in terms of the next 3, 4 weeks, I think they can survive it. I think they have enough talent to just, play well enough to get through it, like you mentioned, and then try to get through the bye week and go from there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't rush him back. I think they have enough weapons to maybe see what you got, kind of like what Cincinnati went through. Not to always bring them up, but when Chase missed some time or Higgins missed some time, you had enough other people that weren't replacements for those guys, but good enough to sustain the offense, especially when you have a mobile quarterback like Baker that can roll out and create more time. So not a super panic, but in terms of this week coming up, I hate it for them because I do see them as a team that could, again, just beat Philly. At least, not saying that that's everyone's end game, but could beat Philly this week and then kind of set themselves at a higher stage in NFC since they always get overlooked. But without Mike Evans, that's going to be tough because he's been there constant.
Yeah, facts. I think it's gonna be a small step back for them. I don't think it's gonna be a huge step back. I think Mbuka could do work. I think Sterling Shepard, he's gonna be asked to do more work. He'll probably get two, three, four, maybe more targets in these upcoming weeks that Mike Evans is out. I do think they lose to the Philadelphia Eagles, but they got some other weeks left ahead of them. One loss is not gonna do anything for them. They're undefeated right now. They go 3-1 to still be good out there. I think it's going to be more touches for Bucky Irving and Rashad White. Maybe a little bit more check downs for Rashad White because Baker Mayfield loves to throw to the flat to him. So I think it is going to be a small step back for them. It does hurt them for sure, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy setback for them. I don't think it's going to derail their whole season. I don't think they'll lose the next four games because he won't be there. I think they'll still maybe they'll go 2-2, maybe 3-1. But it does suck that they lose him. Obviously, the primary target. He does get, the corner that's covering him, the safety over the top. That's always got to play the long ball on him. So he always gets initially either 2-on-1 or 3-on-1, depending on where the linebacker's playing too. If he does a slam or he does an in route. So he does takes a lot of eyes off the field of his other teammates when they're running their routes or they're running plays and stuff like that. But again, I just think it's going to be a small step back. I don't think it's going to really derail the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what they're planning to do for this season.
Yeah, I agree, especially with that division. That's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, for real, for big time, big time. The other injury I wanted to talk to you about was the CeeDee Lamb one, man. And this one, this one hits hard at home. But CeeDee Lamb is a high ankle sprain. He's going to be out 3 to 4 weeks too. Dallas Cowboys that we'll be talking about a little bit later. They're hosting the Green Bay Packers this upcoming Sunday. Return home for Michael Parsons. It's going to be a big showdown for sure, a big primetime game that a lot of people are going to see, and is going to be the number one factor on their offense is not going to be there. What does this mean for the Cowboys and the next 4 weeks without Lamb?
Actually, I want to hear you first there because your squad.
Oh man, it's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be a huge step back, man. He's one of the main targets for us, man. One of the main factors too. He could get about 10 to 12, and even on a really good day or night, 15 targets in one game, and most likely he's catching 80 to 85% of those targets. So he's a really big factors for us. Just like Mike Evans, he gets a lot of eyes taken off of that defense just towards him and off of everybody else that's running routes or running plays. I think it's going to be good for George Pickens. I think he's going to be obviously the main target here. He's going to get probably 8 to 10, 12, 10, 8 to 10 targets and most likely be able to catch 6 to 7 of them. I think we're going to work on that running game more. We're going to use Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders more because Dak is going to use the old reliable on Jake Ferguson and George Pickens, but he's gonna miss CeeDee. So I think they'll run the ball a little bit more. But I do think it's gonna be a huge step back for us because our offense did not look good at all when he left against the Chicago Bears. We only put up 14 points in that game when our offense is supposed to be top. It should be top 10, maybe even top 5 in the league, and we're not even showing it right now. So when we don't have our primary target out there for a whole month, it's going to be a huge step back for us on our offense. And with our defense, it's just it's a joke out there. Our defense is a joke out there. So if we can't be scoring and putting up 25, 30, 35 points, we're not going to be able to stop the other team from actually doing that.
Yeah, and plus look at your schedule, right? So the Green Bay game, obvious. That's we're gonna get into that. So that
Yeah.
could be an L. Looks that way. Even though Jordan Love hasn't looked that great either. So, but we'll get into that.
Hmm.
Then what do you get? The Jets, right? You get the Jets after that. So that I mean, maybe right without him, you can still pick that up. That won't be too bad. And you get the Panthers again, not too bad. Maybe you can overcome that as well. But then you get the Commanders. And unfortunately, I don't think it's a huge deal in terms of divisional play because I don't think that the Cowboys are set to win the division long term, regardless of this. But in terms of just making the playoffs, like if you don't win that Jets and Panthers game without him, you're pretty much putting yourself in a position to be set back because I think right after that you have Denver, right? Denver's another physical
Mm-hmm.
defensive team, so that can be tough. You know, how you do without him is going to be interesting because, like you said, without him on the Bears, you guys were doing nothing. Not that you're really doing too much while he was there either. And congrats to him for trying to give him a try. You know, came back into the game, went that one route, was just waved it off, said I can't do it, and that's fine. I get it. But I mean, this right here is what you have paid Dak for to show me that when other people go out, you can still be serviceable. You're not supposed to be. Granted, I know he gets a lot of expectations, but he's not supposed to be a bum QB that depends on other people.
Yep.
He's paid like a star quarterback that's supposed to elevate this team, regardless of who you got there. And granted, we just said Mahomes doesn't look great without stars next to him. So I hear that, right? Lamar, though he's looking good and putting up numbers, he hasn't always shined, even when he got a lot of help. So there's not like all these quarterbacks are just putting up, but the expectation is there. You can't go, let's say 2-3. We won't include the Bears loss. Let's say he doesn't come back for the next 4 games. You know, you can't go 1-3 in that. And if the fifth game's Denver or whatever, you can't lose that. Like, there's no way that you can go this next, let's say 4 games below 2-2 and expect to probably make the playoffs in terms of it's a long season. I get it. You can get hot. It doesn't matter, right now in that big of a sense. But realistic expectations for your team and how they've seemed to perform late in the year, like you need to be 3-1 in this stretch with the Panthers and the Jets as two of those teams. And if
Yep.
he can't get that done, even without CeeDee, and then you still have Pickens, which is it's not CeeDee, but it's something. Uh, I don't know. I mean, like you said, we're going to get into the Packers game, but it's all on Dak now. This is where if you're not it here, I know Milton's not the answer long term either, backup, but now it's time. This is it. You don't show me in this next 2-3 weeks that you can't win 2 out of these 3 games, or at least look great on your end, like you said, because the defense has been slacking as well.
Exactly.
It's time. It's time to make a move. I don't care if you have to cut, do whatever you have to do, take the financial loss and move on to another quarterback. This is the window that I'm going to judge him.
Yeah. I don't expect them to win against the Panthers or to the Jets because of our defense. I expected more from the Jets because their offense is wishy-washy. It is not good, really. But depending if Justin Fields is out there and depending on how well he plays, because he can play well, it's a toss-up, right? With the Panthers, I don't expect to win because their offense is pretty good. Bryce Young is looking dope. Chuba Hubbard is running the ball very well. Rico Dotto, which an ex-Dallas Cowboy, whenever he gets in the red zone, he can score. The receivers are looking good. The rookie receiver McMillan, he's looking great, and their defense is not half bad. They're not great. They're not good, but they're like a little below average in the middle of the league and shit. So it's like I don't expect them to win, but I do agree with what you're saying. On Dak's end, you have to put on a show with anybody that you have out there because if it's just, oh, I could get the ball to CeeDee Lamb and he does all the work, might as well literally what you just said, cut our losses, trade them, get some money back and some picks, and we get some random QB out there, put Joe Milton out there and just give the ball to CeeDee Lamb the whole time because we're paying you $60 million a year to just throw it to CeeDee Lamb? Nah. I need you to go out there and be a playmaker and actually put it on the show and make some completions and get the offense going and score 30 points per game. Because with the offense you have, obviously now, huge step back with Lamb gone for the next month. But still, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson, the running backs that you have, yeah, a little below average, but you can still put up 3 touchdowns in a game. Don't tell me that you can only put up 14 points against a Chicago Bears team.
Yeah, that was miserable. Miserable.
Horrible.
How you guys? Yeah. So I
It
mean,
was horrible.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about another injury, but we're gonna go from the field to the hardwood floor here, because it was that injury that happened today, and man, sucks to see, bro. It really sucks to see. Fred VanVleet tore his ACL. He will be most likely out for the year. I don't really know why they say most likely, bro. If he tears an ACL, yo, that's it. Leave him out. Don't bring him back. Leave him out, bro. Let him rest. Let him get his recovery. But with that being said, the Houston Rockets will be without him most likely the year, and it's gonna be tough for them, man. It's gonna be tough for them. But just to hear your thoughts on it. How are the Rockets going to do without their true leader out there on the court?
That's a huge loss. And just in terms of the NBA, I can't remember a season where so many guys are going to be out already months before the season started. I know it's not too far away from now, but in terms of we knew for the past month or so how many players were going to miss next year. That is and quality players, guys like Halliburton, like Jason Tatum. Obviously, Damian Lillard had been up and down to injuries as well. Someone like this, like it is crazy to see how many hamstrings just not doing well. I think there's a huge loss for Houston. The only reason they say most likely not, like you said, just give him his rest individually. That's what he's earned. Let him be healed, get him ready for the following season. But when you make that trade for Kevin Durant, and that's kind of an aging player, you always want to leave the window open for hope so that you're not giving up on this season now. I think that's a huge loss to the point where they go from a second round, not sure thing, but should be surefire thing, to probably getting upset in the first round by somebody, mainly because of
Mhm.
how the West will probably stack up. You know how it is in the Western Conference. You know, you got a few teams at the top that are, not Denver's. I have Denver. Not saying they're going to finish the season number one. I have them as a big threat to OKC right now. But you're not going to have teams like Denver in that 2-3 spot. They don't perform that highly in the regular season, so they're going to slip a little bit. A lot of these great teams in the West tend to finish in that 4 through 7 spots in the standings, and then kind of showing Minnesota, people like that. So that's going to be a rough first round for them. If this is the team that's going to perform well, has a lot of young talent, is going to win a lot of regular season games, and then has to play Minnesota, right out the gate, or someone like that, the Lakers right out the gate, Clippers, I can see them getting bounced now without that leadership.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's gonna be very tough for them. And like Kevin Durant, he always likes to be on a team that has a true point guard. Like, he doesn't have to go out there and be the playmaker. He doesn't have to go out there and get assists. He doesn't have to go out there and run the floor. He has someone else that go and do that for him. Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry. Devin Booker was doing it a few times. He turned into a little PG last season and the season before that, like half the year. So now going with the Rockets, he was going to have Fred VanVleet, and I'm sure that he was very excited for that. If you just set him up to shoot, set him up to go for the layups and dugs, he's good for that. He's great. Now he's not going to be there. It's going to be a huge step back. Now they're going to look to KD or the backup point guard to come in and actually do work and actually make plays where KD's not really as comfortable. He'll do it, but he's not as comfortable to do that. And you're asking him to play basically two roles out there for the Houston Rockets instead of one. So, last season, number 2 seed, they had a huge jump with their young talent. They ended up trading away most of their young talent for KD. They get KD. I still think it was a good jump as well. And then now Fred VanVleet tears his ACL. Now they don't know what they're really going to be doing on the offensive end when it comes to who's going to be creating plays. So now I feel like they took a huge jump backwards, and it's going to be very detrimental to the Houston Rockets because I was on the same boat with you. I think they could have maybe make the Western Conference Finals. I really thought they were going to get to the second round for sure, going to get to past the first round, and then now it's like depending on who they face, they might not even get out the first round.
Yeah, you don't want to finish 2 or 3. And you would think, oh, that's great. Home court advantage. You're not worried about your young team. Well, you were a very young team.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a little more veteran presence, although one of your key guys is out now. You don't want to play Minnesota in the first round. You
No.
don't want to play, the Clippers in the first round. Like they're gonna bounce you. I mean, and assuming Clippers don't get some crazy penalty or something, right? But this is going to be a very, very weird spot for them now because there's not too many people who are available for them to bring uh, in terms of ball handling at this point of the season.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Like
A
I know
lot
it's
of point
off
guards have
season and stuff
been.
like that, but all these lineups are already kind of getting established.
Hmm. Yeah, unless they do a trade, unless they do a nice trade and try to get a PG back in there, a good backup PG, you know. But for now,
Yeah.
man, it looks like they really took a huge step back.
Yep. You better
Um,
call Chris Paul.
yeah, yeah. A team that who's trying to take a huge step forward after last week's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. The New York Giants, they're ready to put in the rookie quarterback, first round draft pick, Jaxson Dart, and over into Russell Wilson after 3 weeks. Dude, there's a lot of praise for this kid out there in New York. They won. A lot of fans were asking for the Giants to start him, to get him over Russell Wilson, to get him over Jameis Winston, and now they're listening to the fans, and they got actually put Dart out there to throw the ball to Malik Neighbors to run that offense. How are you feeling about Dart starting next week?
So before the season started, I thought the Giants should have just roll with them. See what you got, just do it. I understood the premise of put Russell Wilson out there, kind of give this guy a little bit of time to learn, blah blah blah, that kind of approach. I like that approach more, um, especially when you have a kind of an incomplete team like the Giants have. You know, the Aaron Rodgers sit back and watch approach. But in this event where you're kind of your hand is being forced because you don't want to, you know, you're not the Arizona Cardinals or a team that nobody cares about, right? It's the New York Giants. They get up a lot of attention. Eventually, especially after all these bad years, you have to show that you're trying to win. Jaxson Dart, I'm not saying he's just going to come out there and throw darts and be this amazing gunslinger and win games and stuff like that. And I know it's just preseason, but in Ole Miss, in terms of the regular season for college football, he looked the part. He's all-time leading passer, past Eli Manning, right? So that's not. I know the game has changed. There's more passing and stuff like that. So not comparing him to Eli, but he looked the part there, right? I know USC before that, and he kind of didn't. But either way, he looked the part at Ole Miss. And then in the preseason, no interceptions. Usually that's where that kind of starts to show that transition to the NFL. Some bad mistakes, some bad interceptions. And yeah, you write them off because they're young, but he didn't throw any. You know, he looked pretty good. He looked pretty electric. He's had good energy. Like, I think that's something that, you know, the Giants kind of need. They haven't had a spark plug quarterback other than 1 week of Danny DeVito that was, you know, or whatever, you know, DeVito there, that Tommy DeVito, that was like the, you know, Linsanity moment for them. That wasn't going to last, and it didn't. But they haven't had a exciting quarterback. I don't even know when's the last time they had an exciting quarterback. Like, yeah,
Long
obviously
time,
Eli,
long time,
yeah,
long time.
Eli Super Bowl runs, but even he himself, for the most part, wasn't that exciting. By the way, the Yankees just walked off to clinch the postseason with a
Let's
comeback win.
go parlay hit, baby.
Hey. Oh yeah, there you go. And if you're
Yeah,
gambling,
you feel
right,
me? You feel me?
sign up right now.
The
But yeah, so he's not a big,
degenerates.
yeah, so he's not a big running quarterback, but he can scramble, right? You know, in preseason he had like
Mhm.
52 rushing yards or whatever and a touchdown, 372 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So we'll see. Versus the Chargers, probably not the best team to play right out the gate because they're kind of hot. But either way, win or loss, I'm excited to see it. I think it's time. You know, why not?
You see, there, you said it at the end for me, man, because I'm not surprised that they're gonna put Jackson Dart in already. Like, I feel like yes, it did come sooner than later, but I thought they were gonna give it like maybe another 2 weeks and then they were gonna put him in. But the Giants, I guess they see that their defense can be prolific and they can stop and they can play as well as anybody across the league, which I actually agree. I think their run defense is very good. Their defense needs some work, but it's still good as well. So if their offense can compete with their defense, they can actually do work, in their schedule. So they go and they put him in for this week, but you said it there at the end against the Chargers, bro. 3-0 Charger, where their defense is looking like top five across the league, run defense and pass defense. And it's like, did you really have to start him for this game? Didn't you just want to
Yeah.
wait a little bit and see what he can learn a little bit more from Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston when it comes to these high pressure situations and be out there and be like, yo, look, this is what you do and this is what you don't do. And then, maybe a little bit down the road when you play a team that's more trash, like I don't know what their schedule is, but I'm pretty sure in the next 2-3 games they're gonna play a team that is not as good as the Chargers, and then you start them there. But you want to throw him in the fire, you want to throw him to the wolves, put him against the Chargers, and let's see how he does. I think he's gonna do decent, but I still got the Chargers winning this game. I still see him probably throwing a pick. He probably will throw a touchdown, but maybe for like 140 yards, 150 yards. But he's not going to do as much work as he would against a defense that wasn't as prolific as the Chargers.
Yeah, like you said, tough spot, tough spot. But I get it. New York media, it always gets
Yeah,
to you. It's
exactly.
easier said than
No,
done. Like, you put Jameson, and granted, Jameson is one of those guys who, in the past year or two, just through social media and other conversations, he's kind of won people over with just like encouragement, motivational, little religious kind of thing that he's got going on, and people are excited. They like to see Jameis. So you probably could have gotten away with it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's like you said, it's the Chargers, but the very next week you play the Saints. It could have been,
One more game. One more game. You just wait one more game.
and then you get the Eagles. You
I
could have
get
prepped
it.
them for the Eagles. You could have
I
prepped them
get
for the
it.
Eagles. But I guess at this point, like we said, it's all or nothing.
Yeah. So next Thursday night, next Amazon game, we got the Seattle Seahawks visiting the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams are 2-1 right now, divisional rivals. Um, man, both teams are not great. They're not horrible. Think one team is better than the other, but I'll let you go on this first. What are your thoughts for this game, and who do you think wins?
Huh. So I'm going to take Seattle, mainly because of the defense. The run defense has been very good. Um, One of the best in the league. And pass defense, they've also been very good defensively. Now, I'm not super into Sam Darnold in terms of what they're going to do offensively. I do think they have the weapons, all these freaking Ohio State receivers in this NFL. They got all these guys that play good as well there. But they're just such an inconsistent team in general. Arizona, kind of the same. But we're going to switch up our defensive team. We're going to do the secondary, all that. But now they're all banged up. So they're kind of having an issue. But offensively, Kyler Murray, he can be electric as well. So we'll see. I'll take Seattle, even on the road. I believe that's a road game. Not because of anything. I'm just seeing, like you said, shining through. I do think both these teams are kind of near the same level. But I've seen enough from the Seattle defense, not to say they're the Legion of Boom or anything close to that whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see that they are keeping teams very low on scores. They're one of the better points per game kind of defense in the league at the moment. Don't know how sustainable it will be, although I do like the pieces they have. But either way, I'll roll with it. Divisional matchup, so that's what Thursday nights usually seem to be about. Not something I would, run out and order pizza and wings with for this game. But
Sure.
it's still something to do on a Thursday where you otherwise got nothing to the NBA starts.
Yeah. I mean, with this game, man, I do think Seattle's defense is better than the Cardinals' defense. When it comes to the Cardinals' offense, though, man, they have one of the worst passing attacks, and then not to mention they just lost their starting running back James Conner. Man, most likely he's going to be done for the year. I think he is done for the
Yes,
year, so they're going to have to, they're going to have to rely on Trey Benson to do some work and actually, run the ball really well, be a Pro Bowler out there, basically. If not, Kyler Murray is going to have to throw the rock a lot, man. He's going to have to go out there and show that he can throw the rock because he's going to have to get it to Marvin Harrison Jr. He's going to have to get it to Terry McBride, and he's going to have to put work out there because the Seahawks, man, they will score. They will put up points. Their defense is not great, but it's better than the Cardinals' defense. So for sure, I'm going to be taking the Seattle Seahawks in this game.
Yeah, I don't know how Amazon feels about it, but it definitely feels like Amazon gets the lamest games for Thursday night games.
Yeah, it's been
I mean,
like
now
what?
granted, Monday night has, I'm not going to knock my own team, but Monday night has Jets Dolphins. Now, granted, they also have Bengals Broncos at the same time, but you have Jets Dolphins on one of your channels. That's like, I think they would have been better off moving one of those games, move that game to the Nickelodeon channel thing where they do the slime or something.
Mm.
Like, get it off of adult TV and just let the kids watch it because they don't know anymore.
All right, so the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, man, brought this up a little while ago, so I guess we got to go over it again. But the Green Bay Packers are going to be visiting the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football Week for the Green Bay Packers are 2-1. That they had a crazy ending to that Cleveland Browns game. That I'm pretty sure a lot of us thought that Green Bay Packers were going to take that game easily, but they did not. The Cowboys are 1-2. They played against the Bears, where I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought they were going to win. They maybe not win by a lot, not a huge margin, but they thought they were going to win, and the Bears stomped them. Sunday Night Football, Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. What are your thoughts and who wins?
Got to take the Packers, not just because of the CeeDee Lamb injury, but overall, I just think their roster in general is better. And I think that Jordan Love doesn't have to be great for them to win, whereas Dak has to shine for Dallas to win this game. And I'm not saying the defense is going to be so trash that if they doesn't do pretty good, they're going to lose, like in the Lamar Jackson situation. But I do think Dallas does best when Dak's got the offense just rolling, and it won't matter that they don't play great defense. They can win. It's kind of the Tiger Woods thing. When Tiger's playing his game, it doesn't matter who you are. He's going to win. I'm not saying anymore, but during his highlights, right? His peaks. Kind of like this. I'm
Yeah.
not saying Dallas is just automatically the best team in the league when Dak is playing great. But when Dak was rolling with the offense 2 years ago, before the injury, you guys were just clicking, right? I'm not saying you won every game or anything like that, but you seemed like a legitimate threat every single week when Dak was locked in. And it's not just about the talent. You have other guys aside from CeeDee, especially with Pickens there now. That's why you brought him in to kind of help that situation. Not to be a band-aid for when CeeDee's out, but here we are. I just don't think Dak will shine the way he needs to shine against that defense. But at the same time, before the season started, before the Parsons trade, I thought the Packers, if you forced my hand, was going to be the Super Bowl favorites. And that was primarily because I liked their entirety of the roster. I thought Jordan Love could make the next step. He's one of those guys, kind of like a little bit like Justin Herbert, who gets crowned a little early. But either way, I thought he could grow into that potential that people keep seeing in him. And so far, no, he has not. This guy's not just shining. He's not throwing the ball great. He's not leading people open. He's not doing a good job of scrambling. He's holding the ball too long. That Browns game, and I'll say this for the Browns, as a divisional team, they do very well defending on the secondary and obviously creating a pass rush with Miles Garrett. Two big levels, and they do very good at it. Now, a lot of those things don't go, like on the stat sheet in terms of secondary disruptive plays, stuff like that, forcing you into small routes. But that's what they do. They really break you down over a course of the game. So I'm not super shocked that Green Bay was held to 10 points for the entirety of that game. I am surprised that they lost. But at the same time, I think that's the kind of game that if Green Bay shows up, plays an average offensive game, they can still win this game by 14 points. Whereas you're going to need Dak to elevate this team. And as we mentioned earlier, I've not entirely lost faith in it, but I'm kind of gotten to that point where I don't see it happening this week, especially with Parsons returning. This should be the ultimate. Let's go. If it's going to be ever Parsons against me, and I don't have CeeDee, imagine the credibility I can win back for weeks to come with that week schedule coming up. So pressure's on for Dak, but this is a great opportunity. Great opportunity.
It is. It's a very good opportunity, and the pressure is there for sure, man. But I don't see it happening, bro. Green Bay is gonna win this
Yeah.
game. I love their defense. I think their offense is really good too. With their running back Josh Jacobs, he's just gonna run all over this Dallas run defense because our run defense is just trash, man. We cannot stop anybody from running the ball. When it comes to passing the ball too, our passing attack, our passing defense is trash as well, man. So I don't see any faith in them, bro. I see Green Bay putting up 35 plus, bro, easily, man. Jordan Love, yes, he hasn't looked great. There's times that he shine, and there's times that he sits back and he's not doing anything. He just watches his receivers run out there, and he doesn't throw him the ball. He watches Josh Jacobs try to break 4 or 5 tackles, and he doesn't really go anywhere because the passing attack is not there. So it's like Dallas has the chance. They have a chance. Very slim, but the chance is there. I just don't see Green Bay losing this game at all. I think Green Bay wins by like 2 touchdowns and a field goal, maybe. And it is a great opportunity for Dak. I don't think he's gonna showcase his skills though, man. That defense is gonna be all over him. Michael Parsons is gonna be all over him. They asked him today, well, what happens when you Dak sack? He's gonna be like, it's gonna suck, man, because I'm gonna sack my brother. It's gonna suck. And at the end of the day, this is a business, man, and you gotta go out there and prove yourself and prove your worth and why they get paid you all these bucks. Why Dallas traded you to the Green Bay Packers? Because the Packers believed in you and they wanted to give you that fat contract. So you gotta go out there and show your dominance. And honestly, I think Parsons gets 2 sacks in this game, to be fair. But dude, man, if Dallas can pull off this miracle, bro, very slim chance. But if they can't pull off this miracle, it's gonna be because Dak is having the best game of his life. He's slinging the rock. He threw 3 TDs. Javonte Williams is running the block very well. He could get 1 TD, and our defense is coming to play like they've never played before in their life. It's a wishful dream, man. It's a wishful dream, but I do not see it happening.
I don't either, unfortunately. And I think it's another giant nail in the coffin for Dak Prescott. And next year, I don't see him there if he doesn't win games like this year.
Yeah.
You got to make a move eventually. Come on, Jerry.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. At the end of the day, bro, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I'm not a Dak Prescott fan, which I am. But the reason I'm saying this is that I'm not just primarily a Dak Prescott fan. I'm not primarily a CeeDee Lamb fan. I'm not primarily a Michael Parsons fan. Just individual players. I'm not a fan of. I'm a fan of the team. So whatever we need to do to make the team better, I am with it. But we got an owner / general manager that, in my eyes, doesn't care about the teams being better. He cares more about the money, the soap opera. He does care about the success for sure, but is the success for the team organization, it doesn't only come with wins. It comes with other things as well. So I think with wins, with winning football games and having good players is like 5th on the list for him. Marketing, money, branding, having his name in the spotlight are all above that. So it's gonna be tough whenever he's around or he even opens his mouth. Like, it's gonna be tough for us. But with this game, man, Green Bay Packers have a great defense. They have a great offense. We have a shit defense, and we have an okay offense now with CeeDee Lamb gone. My money is on the Packers. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, man, bro, still the beginning of the season. A lot of football to be had, man. I hope for you, Joe Burrow comes back soon because it's good for the league. It's good for your team, obviously, and it'll be good for your division. You guys are 2-1 right now in the top of your division. Hopefully, you could win next week. And the Ravens defense, man, like we talked about before, it ain't looking great. The Browns defense looking great, but their offense looking trash. So,
per usual.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, man, before we get out of here, bro, please let these people know where they can listen to your stuff, follow your socials and all that.
Yep. So as usual, like I said, CL Kid. All my pages are at Real CL Kid. That's pretty much it. If you Google search, it'll come up. Hopefully, music, sports, stuff with my boy GMike here, getting back on the airwaves. So,
yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Love it always. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, you know where you can follow me on Twitter at George Mike Perez, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at GMike Media _. The audio version of this podcast is available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube as well, the video version. And if you guys are into sports gambling, I run a Telegram channel where we offer sports gambling slips to get you winnings from $20 to $50 to $100 a day. There's another way to make money on there too. You'll see the link pop up on the screen, or you can send me a DM at one of my socials that pop up on your screen as well. We'll start a conversation on how we can get you on and going. See ya. Thank you again, my guy, and we got a ball soon or golf soon, baby.
Hey man, what you got? What you got tomorrow?
Tomorrow I might be busy, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I'm trying to ball though. I'm trying to ball.
All right, cool. What's up?